Hey moms, welcome to the Gather Moms podcast. My name is Kate.
And I'm Rebecca. We've created this space just for you because we're both moms and we get you.
Yes, we believe there truly ain't no hood like the motherhood, and we need to be in this together. We also believe we can't mom well without Jesus, so you're going to hear us talk about him too.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Gather Moms and make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
All right, mamas, let's jump in. Moms, welcome back to the Gather Moms podcast. Hey, we have missed you this summer, and we just feel the ramping up back to school and all the things, and we thought, gosh, we just want to put something fun in our moms' ears. Even though this is not our scheduled new season, we just wanted to sit down with each other and with you and chat.
Because listen, some of you are kinder moms, and you about to cry your eyes out when you send that baby off to school. And so we want you to be able to laugh, but some of you are high school moms and you are clapping and cheering. You are looking at those babies and saying, get out my house.
For sure. Or except when you look at your bank account and you're like, oh, I'm crying.
I don't know. I think I'll pay for them to go somewhere for a while. I think that would help my mental state.
Did you cry when all of your kids went to kinder?
I think I cried when Jake did. But I don't know that I cried when the other two did.
I don't
like
think
that
you
first
did.
one was like, oh, okay, this is kind of tender moment. And the next two I was like, score.
Same with me. I think I actually cried. I remember being so embarrassed because I took Caleb to like the kinder meet the teacher or whatever, and Mrs. Pemberton, and I was talking with her, and I said, now when I drop him off, if it's early, and they're not going to class, because I'm picturing dropping my little 5-year-old off in this big building and he has to find his way to this classroom. Right?
I thought they met them at the door.
Well, I didn't know the procedure, right? All I knew is this new mom going into this thing was that my poor baby who could barely wipe his hiney was going to have to try and find the way from the front door to his classroom.
Listen, what I know about Kate Henderson is that you way prepare your kids for things. So I'm 100% sure he knew how to do more than wipe his hiney. Okay. It's the Bradford kids that send out to the world with good luck. I don't know.
I know, but he can't tie his shoes. So anyway, so she said, well, if they get here early, then they go sit in the gym. And then when the bell rings, then they all walk to their class. And I looked at her and my eyes filled with tears. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? Wait, he's going to go into a gym where he doesn't know anybody. And he's going to go sit in there and then a bell's going to ring and he's supposed to know? Because just as a new mom, you're like,
bless your heart.
You just don't know all they can do. You know what I mean? I just didn't know he could do all of that.
I just never thought about those things.
Oh.
I just send them into the building, into the abyss of go and find your way in the world. I don't have these thoughts about what are you doing in the meantime.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't know that usually the first 2 or 3 days of school, you can walk them in and, making sure they get to their seat and everything, which helped me out considerably too. But I didn't know any of that. So thinking that I was just going to hand over my baby into this big building and he was going to have to find his way, that was too much for Kate.
And then the next two, you're like, listen, y'all got this.
Yeah.
Get a girl.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Which is funny because your first one was a boy and your second two were girls. You'd think with the girls, you'd be a little bit more like, okay, baby.
But I knew what was going to happen. So I took them, to their classes the first 2 days. But then they all had older brothers or sisters to make sure they got to the room.
Yes.
Right? So it's just a completely different deal.
Yes. I've already seen kinder moms online, thinking through the lunchbox.
Yeah.
And I had this sweet friend that had her child actually sit down with her lunchbox at home and eat her lunch in a timely manner. So she knew how to get it all down during the time she had at lunch. And I was like, that's genius. I never did that for my kids.
It's genius because, if you have a kid that's a slow eater, you got to practice it. And the other thing that's so good to practice is opening the things. Can they open a chip bag?
No, girl, they got a lunch monitor in there. Come on,
that
friends.
lunch monitor has hundreds of kids.
Open my kids' apple juice for them. Thank you.
Now listen, no, your child needs to know how to, I have been a preschool teacher. Your child needs to know how to peel a mandarin orange if you're putting them in there.
Yeah, see, I don't send fruit.
Okay.
We send high-calorie
processed
foods.
Now that's the worst. If you send the fruit cups with all the juice.
Okay, now I do agree with that because it does spurt on you.
That
and
is
then
the
it gets on your clothes, on your hands.
Absolute worst thing. Go-gurts are also highly problematic. If you can afford the twist top yogurts, that are like an applesauce thing.
Yes.
If you can do that, Mama, please, for the love of God, do that for your teacher, because the Go-Gurts, they start trying to tear that thing, and that sucker squirts all over the place.
I know, but when I send yogurt, it makes me feel like a really good mom
Yeah.
because I'm sending healthy options.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that outweighs the trouble of opening it.
Okay, just teach your kid how to open it. Rebecca, I need to stick you in a kindergarten cafeteria for one day.
No, the Lord did not call me to that.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
That I'm telling you from boots on the ground experience, you got to train your kids how to open these things.
No. And listen, this year they have to take their lunch because last year in our school district, they could buy it for free because of the COVID
It was so
craziness.
great. Yeah.
I am so sad.
So sad.
Man, I got to make lunches again.
No, you do not have to make those lunches. Those kids can make their own lunches.
Okay.
But I do hate to have the lunch train going again because it's like, oh, here we go, schlepping out all the meat and the cheese and the bread every night.
Every night, yes.
Now, there's probably moms listening that are like, have hacks, where they like make all the sandwiches for the week one night or something, which is actually pretty smart.
Listen, that's the first week. You're like gung-ho.
Yeah.
And then you get to the third week and you're like, I'm out on this. What is the easiest way to make this happen in the morning?
For sure. You're like,
Cheez-It bag.
Yeah, you just start throwing
Yogurt
bags
stick,
of things into the lunchbox.
Cup of applesauce. Check.
I know, but Rebecca, we're out here in inflation times. So we're about to have to figure this out. It's about to be peanut butter sandwiches. No, we can't even afford jelly. It's going to be white bread, Jiffy peanut butter,
They're
Peter Pan.
They're not gonna be able to talk after lunch because their tongues are stuck to the top of their mouth because of all that peanut butter. They don't have anything to wash it down with.
No, I mean, the Hendersons aren't going to be buying all that prepackaged stuff. We're going to have to go get the Costco 3-gallon goldfish, and they're going to have to Ziploc bag those things themselves.
Okay, but listen, I feel like the goldfish get stale. Like when you buy the big packages, by halfway through that thing, those are stale goldfish. That's nasty.
My children do not. There's not enough time.
I need a really crunchy, fresh goldfish cracker.
Caleb basically walks around. You know how horses they'll attach like a feed sack to their face? He basically walks around with it's like an aluminum colored, the 3 bags that come in the Costco box.
Yes.
It's basically like his feed sack attached to him. Like he's just constantly eating. So they don't have time to go stale around here.
Yes.
So, okay, before we talk any more about back to school, we have not been with you guys all summer. So we wanted to just catch up a little bit on summer, what we've been up to. And so, Rebecca, tell us, what your summer looks like?
Okay, so I just want to say that I have learned after 16 years of parenting, the best week of the summer is the first week out of school.
Yeah.
Because everybody is so happy to be home.
Mm-hmm.
They're so tired, so they sleep good.
Yeah.
You, as a mom, don't care about anything.
Yeah.
Like the house, the food, the clothes. It's
Right.
like we are just going to live it up for a week.
Yeah.
I feel like it's all downhill after that.
I 100% agree. They're just so happy to be there. They're not asking you for stuff. You're not having to take them anywhere,
Yes.
And it's not 1 bazillion scorching degrees.
Yes. Truth on that.
So they can go play outside and stuff like that, you know?
So that's the best week of the summer. And then it's like boots on the ground. Here we go. Camps,
Girl.
church,
Yes.
play dates,
Yeah.
swimming pool,
Yeah.
sunscreens, trips.
Yeah.
It just all comes at you.
Yeah. And then, in Texas here, it's been blazing hot. I felt like June, I was like, summer, I'm into it. I'm feeling good. We were doing our little daily checklist and, it was all rainbows and sunshine. And then July, I was like, oh, it's too much.
Yes.
We had such a hot July.
Yes.
And then here we are in August and we're basically just fried to a crisp and I'm mad about everything. And, I don't even want to go to the grocery store or go anywhere because it's so hot and it makes me feel angry.
This is when you fight over the shady parking spot. I will
Yes.
park in the back of the grocery store parking lot if there is a tree.
Yeah, because by the time you get to your car, you're setting your legs on fire just to sit in your car.
Yes, I totally agree.
So, but you guys had a big thing happen this summer in your family. Tell us about what happened in San Antonio. Or is
So,
that where y'all were, San Antonio?
yeah, we went on vacation to San Antonio. So my oldest son has had this cyst on his back for over a year, and we've been able to manage it.
Yeah.
And we went on vacation to San Antonio, and he told me it was bothering him. So before we left, I got him some antibiotics so that we could get ahead, feeling like a great mom.
Because he had it before and you'd use antibiotics and it went away.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so we get to vacation, and every day he's like, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. I can't sit. I have to lay down. He couldn't go to the pool. So we get to midweek of vacation, and we had bought tickets to Schlitterbahn.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're like me, but when I pay for things, we go.
And for those non-Texans, Schlitterbahn is this epic water park. You
Epic
ride
water park.
tubes and slides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we had looked forward to it all summer.
Yeah.
And I just was like, you can do this. You can tough it out. You're fine.
100%.
Like you're sitting on a tube. It's like a fluffy pillow.
Yes.
So it should feel good.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, halfway through the day at Schlitterbahn, he is like in so much pain. He can't even ride the water rides. So he has to go sit at one of them like crazy little tables on that weird carpet that you're like
the
scared
green turf.
you're scared
carpet.
to walk on, but you can't wear your shoes, so you have to. So then
Uh-huh.
you just pray to the Lord to like not let germs sink into your skin and kill you.
Yeah.
And so we get done with the day and have dinner. And on the way back to the hotel, he's just like, I can't do it anymore. So Greg's like, let's just go to an urgent care. We can do that. We can go to an urgent care. It is 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
And the urgent care closes at 8:30. I mean, we just like slide right in there in the last minute. Well, this cyst on his back has become an abscess. So it's become infected. And it's so far under the skin that the urgent care doctor cannot help us. And so she says, I think you need to go to the ER. And again, I'm that mom that's like, okay, when you say go to the ER, do you mean now? Or do you mean...
Or can we go to sleep and do this tomorrow?
Can we do this tomorrow? Can I go home tomorrow and then go to the ER? Like, that's me.
Yeah.
She says, well, I've already called and told them you're coming.
Okay, so that means we're at a 10.
Okay, we're going.
Yeah.
So I go back into the car. Greg's like, great, I'll take, you and the other kids back to the hotel, and then I'll take Jake.
Uh-huh.
Well, fast forward 12 hours, he's in emergency surgery because the ER cannot do what's happening either. And so he has to go under anesthesia and be cut open so they can go and get the infection out of his body.
Oh, my God.
So the next morning I wake up in the hotel, which I didn't sleep great, but I did. I mean, is that bad that I slept?
No, I'm so thankful you
The child
did.
was in the
No,
ER.
these are the things we promote is self-care. You've got to sleep and eat and yeah.
And I wake up and Greg calls and he says, okay, he's already back in the OR. What is happening?
Yeah.
The surgery didn't take long. So we ended up in the hospital for the last 2 days of vacation. And little did I know that they don't close the wound. So because it was so deep and so intense, he had to leave the wound open to drain.
But let's talk about the actual size of this thing because it was 5 inches wide.
Okay, so that's so funny. It's not 5 inches. It's 5 centimeters, which is still large. Like if you get your ruler out 5 centimeters and you point that down into your body, it goes real far.
That's real far, but
It's real deep.
I have been picturing because you've been using inches as your
yes.
unit of measurement this whole time.
And that's like almost half a foot.
So I've been picturing this huge
I think
hole.
that's your whole back. I think that would go like from your stomach to your back. I think it'd be the whole
When
thing.
did you realize you had been saying inches and you meant centimeters? Like when did this dawn
A week
on you?
ago. A week ago. We've been in this chaos for like a month now.
Because I've been picturing, didn't you remember me saying to you at some point, I said, how is that not touching his organs?
Yes, several people have said that to me, and I've been like, no, you're wrong. I know what I'm talking about. Listen, moms, I was able to look into my child's body and see flesh and almost see bone.
gosh.
Okay? It was a lot.
Yeah.
And those are those moments in motherhood where you have to do the thing because we had to pack the wound.
Yeah.
But in that moment, you're like, how in the world am I doing this? This is beyond me. Like I've caught vomit.
Right.
We've cleaned up pee and poop.
Yeah.
This is a whole new level.
Nasty.
Whole new level.
Yeah.
And my son and I are very close now.
I bet
Very
you
close.
are too. Like, yeah.
I mean, like really, when he meets his future wife, I'm going to be like, okay, just so you know, I know all the things. All of them.
Because he's a man now.
He's a man body.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, the wound was so large, we had to go to a wound specialist, and he is currently on a wound vac, which is a machine that creates a pocket in the wound where no air can get in, so it can fully suck out all the moisture and everything. It promotes healing. We have seen miracle healing in the last week. We are so encouraged, but he has literally had to do nothing for weeks except lay on his stomach. He's not allowed to sit. Can't work, can't play sports, he can't sweat, he has to eat on his stomach, all the things.
Well, and I can testify, I mean, I know it's been so hard for you guys, but I can testify, how bad things looked when you went to the wound specialist and found out, oh, wow, this is going to be a long healing process, and it felt so overwhelming.
So overwhelming. Moms, when you have a kid that loves something
Right.
and can't do that thing because of something that you almost kind of feel like is partially your fault, because I really did feel like I should have done more. I should have stopped. We shouldn't have gone to Schlitterbahn. Should just let that ticket money waste. I should have just done more. And so you feel this huge responsibility as a mom that you have somehow harmed your child in a way that's not an easy fix.
Yeah.
And now they're having to endure through something that you think you could have had control over. Now, God has since, talked me out of that. He knew He was sovereign. He was in control over all that. And we honestly saw Him show up in so many ways throughout the process where it could have been even worse.
Right.
So I see His kindness, but I just know for us as mamas, we feel so responsible for our children.
Of course.
And can take a deep dive into a pit when we feel like we have maybe done something that has harmed them.
For sure.
And I have seen him come out of it stronger.
Yeah.
And it has encouraged his relationship with the Lord. It's brought
Amazing.
our family together.
Wow.
Because when you're on vacation and somebody has surgery, you are all in it together.
Yes.
And so there have been some beautiful family that my kids have been nice to each other.
Amazing.
They're so nice to him
Miracles.
now. I know it'll change again one day.
Sure.
So we are so expectant and hopeful that we are going to get to the other side of this and have a ministry out of it.
Yes.
And be able to use this as a way to look back and see what God did in our family through a really difficult time.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it's just been neat to be praying for you guys and then for you to say, oh my goodness, the healing is happening like way beyond anything we could have expected. And just to praise our very good healer who actually does that. We just forget sometimes that He's good and He does heal.
And y'all, the way He created the human body is amazing.
Yeah.
And even in the midst of feeling like this thing was so awful, I saw the human body respond.
Yeah.
In a way that only God created. I mean, God created our bodies to rejuvenate, to build back, to put flesh where there was no flesh, to close up wounds. It's amazing to me.
That's cool. I love that. Well, and I think Lydia was 4 years old, and we took her to the Texas State Fair with a broken collarbone.
Yes.
She had fallen. Her and Caleb were playing chase in the house the night before. She had fallen. She had said it hurt, but it's just like that. Like, you don't know how bad it is.
No, and your kids typically don't always express fully.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the words. They don't exactly know what's happening.
Yeah. So we take her to the fair the next day, and she won't raise her left arm ever. She'll raise her right arm. She won't. If you try and touch her left arm, it hurts. And I'm like, uh-oh, this might be bad. And we take her to the urgent care, and they do an x-ray, and sure enough, she has a broken collarbone.
Did you say, hey, we just came from the state fair?
Yeah. So, gosh, that was one of the weirdest things. So it had been hot and sweaty at the Texas State Fair, right? So, and I was wearing this cuff on my wrist, like a bracelet type thing, and my sweat, it had put a little black around my wrist where the cuff was, and I had taken it off, but I just hadn't had a chance to clean it yet. So we're sitting in that urgent care. Here's Lydia with a broken collarbone, and then the doctor looks at me and she sees my wrist, and she pulls me aside and she says, "Are you safe? Is everything okay at home?" Yes, dude. Yes, because she thought, and I was like, no, this is from my bracelet. Let me show you my bracelet. This comes right off. And I mean, I actually appreciate that she took the time to ask the question, but it made me so nervous. Like, oh gosh.
Was Jeremy in the waiting room?
No, he wasn't there.
Oh,
that was
the
other
this
thing.
This is my loving husband.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, I'm so thankful, for how well that's going, but I know that's been so hard. So my summer has been, just bananas, just like all summers are just kind of bananas, but it's been good. My big thing is I turned 40 this summer.
That's right.
Yes.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here because for all of you that aren't here, I'm kind of mad at you because you're in your 30s still and I'm not, so.
I still have really mixed feelings about it. So I turned 40 on July 7th, and I didn't post anything about it on social until July 22nd.
That's okay.
Because I wasn't ready. It
You're
took me
easing
a minute.
in.
Yeah, it took me a minute.
Yes.
Yes. So because people kept walking up to me saying happy birthday or whatever the weekend, after I posted, and I was like, thank you. It was 3 weeks ago. I finally just got the courage to share.
No. Well, you're here. You can't leave now, so it's okay. It takes you a minute.
I know. I'm. Listen, my 30s were my favorite decade so far, and if that's the case, then I feel like I'm so much more comfortable with who I am, and I know my body's going to start falling apart a little bit because that's already happening, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's just going to keep getting better. So. Anyway, it'll be good.
I'll just keep my mouth shut.
That's fine.
For right now.
Just smile and nod.
I'll smile and nod.
Okay, so something else we did this summer is we each bought a couple of things that have had...
Life-changing, y'all.
Yeah.
Life-changing.
Okay, so I have a life changer, and you do too, but I can't wait. So you're going to go first. Tell us.
Okay, so I was listening to a podcast early in the summer, and it was all about our periods. PSA moms, if you've got a kid in the car. Do they know how babies are made? Because we're about to talk about it. And so this woman on the podcast talked about these underwear that are literally like a pad in your underwear.
Uh-huh.
And it sounds gross.
No, this totally freaks me out. Like,
Okay.
I can't handle it.
But I need something new for that area because I'm tired of it and I'm not to menopause yet. So I got some time left here.
Yeah.
And so I thought, why not? I'm just going to try it. So my particular brand is called Modi Body.
Okay.
And I ordered 2 pairs. There are 2 pairs of reusable underwear that have this fancy technology that allow you to wear them on your period, even overnight, and not leak. And
what about on like your really heavy day?
So they have different kinds. And so I bought the overnight ones, which have a thicker padding. And then I bought a light to moderate pair, which is like just to wear during the day.
Okay.
And I love them.
Okay, wait a minute.
I'm buying a pair for every day of my period week because I love them. Life-changing.
Now, wait a minute. Aren't you ever afraid that like the juice is going to squirt out?
No. Okay. So listen, I've tested it for you, moms. I was the guinea pig. I went first.
Okay.
No leaks. No leaks.
But don't you feel nervous that like, oh my gosh, there's like a bunch of stuff in there and I'm walking around?
No. Because with the pad, it just feels like, which I wear pads, not tampons. But with the pad, it just,
I don't understand
all day
that
long,
either.
you're like, and you have to change it.
Yeah.
With the underwear, it just feels like so much cleaner.
Okay.
And it goes under my clothes better.
Okay.
And then you just go to the bathroom like normal.
Okay.
And then you just pull them little babies up and keep going at the grocery store.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what you do. Don't freak out. Okay, when you take them off, you go to the sink and you rinse them in cold water. So you have to rinse them.
Yeah.
But it all comes out. You can see it's all coming out. And then you just put them in the washing machine like normal. Wash them with your clothes. No big deal.
Okay.
Hang to dry.
Okay.
And then you wear them again. I've washed them twice. I've worn them several times.
Okay.
They are amazing.
There's a lot happening in my brain right now. So I feel like good for you. I still don't understand why you're not doing tampons instead of pads. But I mean, I guess I'm glad that you like it.
Listen, there's another mom out there that doesn't like tampons either. I know you're out there, sweetie. You and I are friends. I just never did, okay? It's like cauliflower. I don't like cauliflower. Tampons. I don't like tampons.
Well, and some people swear by like that goddess cup thing, and it's hard for me to imagine how
and
that
see,
would
I'm not
work.
there yet, and I'm not going to be the guinea pig. So somebody else is going to have to go first on that.
Okay.
But I mean, like literally, I want to buy them for all my friends. Like for your birthday this year, you might get a
No,
pair of
oh my
Body
gosh.
because I am so excited about them. I just want to tell the whole world, but it's not really a conversation you can just like blast over. Well, I'm kind of doing it right now on the podcast.
I think it's an awesome solution, especially like for our girls starting their periods.
So that's
and
part of
stuff.
the reason I did it, because I know Abby's going to be there one day. And I thought, oh my gosh, going places when I was on my period in middle school was the worst.
The worst, yeah.
So if you didn't have to carry all that stuff with you and you just had on a pair of panties, that would be so amazing.
See, that's a huge thing, because I always thought that was the hardest thing, was taking the paraphernalia to the bathroom in a discreet way.
Yes.
With tampons, you're like tucking it kind of into your hand.
Or you like put it in your back pocket and then pray it doesn't fall out as you walk to the bathroom.
Pray it does not fall
I always
out.
took a sweatshirt to school to wrap around my waist just in case.
Just in case. Okay, so that could be the solution.
They're amazing.
Okay.
There's lots of different brands, so I can't speak to the other brands, but I used Modi Body.
I always get ads, I think, for like Thinx or something. THINX. I don't know.
Yes, there are definitely several brands out there.
Okay.
But listen, I need some shout outs from you moms. If you have used these, I need you to reach out to me on social, DM me, because we need to bond.
Okay, I cannot wait. Good. Okay, I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay,
all right.
What did you buy that you love?
So I have perpetually every summer struggle with underboob sweat. Do you ever have that?
No.
Okay, so for our brick-homed ladies.
Brick home?
Brick house? She's
house?
a brick house.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
Oh my gosh.
Does it mean something?
You've got a lot going on upstairs. Well endowed.
How does brick associate with boob?
Do you not know that song?
I do, but I've never known what it meant, and you could not have convinced me it meant boob at any point in my life. Brick house, boobs, boob house. I don't think that works. I'm so confused.
Okay.
And where do you learn this stuff? Does it just come to you? Does the Holy Spirit just go, Kate, brick means boob?
Well, the song says like she's a brick house. She's mighty, just letting it all hang out. you know she's got everything that a woman needs to get a man. I don't know how you don't know that it's about
What if
boobs.
it means butt?
It could mean butt, truly, actually. Okay, but my brick house is heavy on top.
Okay.
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 There is nothing happening on the other end. It's like a concave slope. Okay. So anyway, so I've struggled with it. So then like in the summers, I mean, I'm having to like wash my bras all the time. And at the end of the day, like I'm, you know, when I'm getting ready for bed, I'm like washing under my boobs because I just cannot even stand it, you know. And anyway, it gets tricky if you want to have like spontaneous love because you're like, I'm super self-conscious about it. Yeah, I said it. Rebecca's cringing. Okay.
Listen, when I said earlier we were going to talk about where babies came from, I didn't know we were going all the way. So, yeah.
So this year I made it. I was like, I am going to figure out the answer to this because for years I've put just like deodorant under there, like when I'm doing my armpits and I do under there. But it just doesn't really like get the job done. Like it takes a little bit of the sting off, but not completely. Okay. So I started researching and I tried a few different things. And I have to tell you my absolute favorite thing. All right. So this is called Secret Weightless Dry Spray. And the scent is wild rose and argan oil. And it smells so good. And it says 48-hour sweat and odor protection. And like literally, like it makes my bras smell better. And then like my boobs do not stink.
Do you use it under your arms too? Is it like all in one?
I think you could probably use it under your arms. Yeah, because the little picture on here has them using it under the arms. But I don't. I use my regular deodorant that I like under my arms. And then I just do a little quick choop, choop under my boobs and put my bra on.
Listen, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a game changer for me because people were saying, you know, there's like some people use powder, you know, but that felt messy. And there's like spray powders and even that kind of felt messy. This is like
Listen,
really
when you
light.
say spray powder, I think of Pam baking spray where it sprays the flour on the muffin tin cup, you know, it's supposed to be better for your baking.
Okay, but basically that.
That's what it does,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, these are your little muffin cups up here, you know, so you just put a little spray under there.
So when in a bind, just go to the cabinet and get your Pam baking spray.
Yes, but so anyway, so I'm not self-conscious about it anymore, and yeah.
That's amazing.
Isn't that fun?
Yes, and I would have never guessed that people needed to research that.
Well, now you know. Now you know.
Moms, I feel like we have helped you out so much today.
100%.
We have given you answers to the boobs and the bottom of the brick house. I don't know what else to call it.
The boobs and the butt area.
Yes.
Yeah.
We literally, like
Yeah.
this week is changing your life right now as you're
100%.
listening to us.
Yes. Haven't you missed us?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Amazing.
So we have circled all the wagons and we wanted to, you know, kind of just like land with you guys talking a little bit about back to school. You know, we love some practical talk over here. So we wanted to, just as you guys are getting out all the school supplies and making sure, are you making sure?
Listen, by the
kids have
time they hear this
clothes?
episode, their kids are in school. They
Yes,
doing it.
if
They
they're-
have packed the backpack. They have sent them little babies off.
If they're in Texas, but if they're not, you always forget that we have people listening around the world.
People in other states don't start school yet?
Some people don't. No.
Like, when do they start?
I think some people don't start until like Labor Day.
You can do that?
Well, I don't know.
That's amazing. What is happening in Texas? We're starting so early.
Well, especially like I think the northeastern states and stuff like that. I think they start later.
y'all, live your best life for
Yeah.
these next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But the last 2 weeks of the summer are pretty brutal. I mean, it's like they're like so bored and wanting to eat everything. Okay, tell me something. Do you buy back to school clothes?
You know, this year we didn't do a lot of it
Okay.
because we don't have any money
Inflation
and medical bills.
and your medical bills.
So I told the guys, I said, you can have shoes.
yeah.
And then because it's so hot, you don't need
Yeah.
anything new. Just
No.
keep wearing them sweaty gym clothes.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
you don't need anything nice yet. Maybe in the fall.
Yeah.
But
with you.
this year's just been different. I'm like, you're fine.
Yeah, I agree. I like for them to have like a back to school outfit and probably a new pair of shoes. And then this year, we usually make the kids keep their backpacks at least 2 years. And so 2 of the kids are rotating, needed new backpacks, which, whew. But Lydia wanted a JanSport, which I thought was so fun.
That's what Abby has.
It does.
Yes.
And that's what was cool when I was growing up was JanSport.
And
so.
I'm pretty sure that at Kohl's, you can use your Kohl coupon on JanSport backpacks.
Ooh, okay. No, we had to order it special from the JanSport website because she wanted this particular color.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
But they were running special, so it was fine.
I need to go to Kohl's and get it 30% off. That's my jam.
Okay, so let's talk I just can't handle Kohl's. It's too much for Kate.
Listen, I want to go there one day with you.
Oh,
and I want to make you try on Sonoma.
No.
You would
Die. Absolute death. No, I can't handle it. I can't. And having to keep up with them bucks. And then you never know. Like, you get to the checkout and you think, well, I got a pretty good deal on this. You know, it said it was 56, but it's actually 23. And then she's dinging it up and she's like, actually, this is negative $5. And you're like, okay, great.
Exactly. That is the beauty of Kohl's. Yes.
No, it's too much. It's too messy in there. It's too dark. I need things to be bright,
you said
organized.
It's dark.
It is dark. Oh, think about the lighting in there. It's depressing. I don't like it. I can't do it. Okay, but let's talk about back to school, because rhythms start to change. Whether you're a mom putting your babies in preschool, grade school, middle school, high school, even, going off to college, like, it causes a change in our rhythms and our routines. And if you're at home or you're working, both, it's just kind of it's a disruption. And so, I like to see those as opportunities. I always really like a new season because I like the opportunity of it, but there is the stress of it starting, right? And turning that ship.
By the end of the summer, the wheels have come off.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's doing their chores.
Right.
Everybody's on tech way too much.
Yeah.
Bedtimes are completely random.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to sleep and I'm like, I hope y'all get to bed because I'm tired.
Yeah.
So we had a family meeting just recently because I just needed to sit down with the kids and say, okay, we're resetting. Here we go again. Yeah. Do y'all remember chores? We have those. I don't want to do them anymore. So everybody pick one.
Yeah.
Homework. I knew that 2 of my kids were going to have really hard years. Like, they're just going to have more homework this year. And so I just wanted to remind them that we're going to do that first. Okay. And we're not going to get on tech and we're not going to play around. And you have a limited amount of time after school to get this stuff done.
Wow.
And we have to do it.
Good for you.
And then I just wanted to talk to them, too, about respect, because I also feel like in your home by the end of the summer, you've kind of lost some of that respect from your kids.
Yeah.
They're just getting to kind of do their own thing. The arguing, the eye rolling,
Yeah.
So I just re-upped and I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
So when I say it, you have one response.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's it.
And right, yeah. And you really have to crack down on that, and if they don't do it, there's got to be something swift where it's like, okay, well, no screens for the rest of the day.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not playing with you.
Mm-mm.
And I'm not asking you to, like, do some crazy slave labor. I'm asking you to load the dishwasher.
That's what I said. I was like, y'all, I've done so much.
Yeah.
And when I ask you to do one little thing and you throw a fit.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Which I probably do more than you do because I'm making their sandwiches and their water bottles. And toast. I make their toast. But I'm like, listen, you got to be able to put that dish in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And when you walk by the trash can and there's a bag of trash, you will take that out to the can.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.
Right. Be proactive. Take care of your stuff. Yeah. No, that's good. No, and we need to do that. We need to have a family meeting. I kind of, this is such a first world problem, but Jeremy and I redid our budget. We hadn't done it since inflation and everything. And so we've just been kind of eaten into our savings and everything and had to go, okay, let's recalibrate. Like, how are we going to do this? So we've got to stay on top of this. And so we had to go through and make some cuts, Okay, are we watching Hulu? No, nobody's watching Hulu. Cut it, right?
Yes.
We're not doing this or that, or we can cut. We don't have to do it. Let's cut it, right?
Right.
So just going through and cutting some things, but I had to sit the big kids down and say, hey guys, we're cutting the cleaners.
Yeah.
We've got to cut. That's a big expense. And so it's got to go. And their eyes got so big, like, oh my gosh, what?
You're going to have to clean your own bathroom.
Yeah. And really, it's just made things so much easier because they come every other week. So I really don't have to clean bathrooms.
Right.
To me, that's the thing I hate cleaning is the bathroom,
Yeah.
So on the other weeks, we're all kind of doing like a little clean, but like they do the big deep thing. So I've got to figure out our program, how we're going to do this now, and sit down and reassign chores and everything that people have to own. And they can totally do it.
Yes, they can. If you're a mama out there and you don't have your kids doing a chore, here it is.
Yeah.
Try it this year.
Yeah.
Start small if you have to. But I promise they can do more than you think they can do. And it is such a help to us as a mom. Even I told them, even if you don't remember, and I just have to say, hey, babe, can you get the trash?
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't mind reminding you. I need you to respond well. Sure,
Yes.
Mom. Yes.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'm not asking you to change the world in
Yeah.
our house. I'm just asking you to help keep us as a family moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So Christina Garrett, whom we love, I heard her say something. She did a reel or something the other day. And she talked about the difference between helping and contributing. So she said, if I ask one of my kids or I ask you, can you bring me a cup of coffee? Okay, well, you're helping me, right? Because you're bringing me something that you don't need. I need it, right? So you're doing a help for me.
Right.
But when you are cleaning the floors or loading the dishwasher or doing the laundry, you're not helping me. You're contributing to this family.
Agreed.
Right?
Yes.
So I think it's a little bit of a shift in mindset and trying to help our children understand you're not doing me a favor here. This is what our family does. We all throw in together. We contribute, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I just liked that little tweak
Yes.
of using that language and helping just our children to understand we're in this together. The default is not mom,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And I think it changes their mindset too, as far as I think sometimes our kids are like, I'm awesome because I dig out the trash.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
it's trying to remind them it's not so that you can puff yourself up and feel
Yeah.
really good,
Yeah.
Because if anybody's feeling good in this house, it's me because I'm doing it all. Okay. But it's the idea that as part of society, as
Right.
part of the Christian body,
Right.
as part of the family,
Yeah.
we all have a job.
That's right.
And we put ourselves into that job we do with excellence, and then everybody wins.
That's right. That's so good. That's right. So I think the other thing I just would want to share with back to school is, we typically do, in my family, we do a back to school dinner. And, when the kids were little, I would always make sure it was the night of the first day of school, But then over time, I started realizing how stressful that was for me because the first day of school is a lot.
It's a lot, yes.
And even that first night, them coming home and we're filling out all these papers. And I don't know, I just think anytime you do something new, it just requires a lot more mental exercise. I can't think of my brain's like loading, cannot think of the word.
Yes.
But, you're just requiring a lot of mental energy, you're requiring physical energy, you're pushing against inertia because you've been doing things one way and now you're trying to change this whole course of getting up, going to bed, the whole thing, right? So I started deciding, you know what, I'm going to do it maybe the first week just when I feel like it.
Right. Or when you don't have something that evening. 'Cause
Yes.
when we start school practices, everything starts.
Yes.
It's not like we get a couple weeks
Yeah.
in. It's like it's all begins.
Yeah. And so it was easier for me to do that, especially when the kids were in preschool or early elementary. But now that they're high school, 6th grade, 1st grade, I'm just going to kind of go with it and not
think
put
that's
that
great.
pressure on myself.
Yeah.
But I really do like to, and I'll put in the show notes kind of the things that we do every year. And even though I have a 14-year-old, we're going to still read How Full Is Your Bucket? I mean, we read it every year. Because it talks about, our family mantra. We used to pick a new theme every year, and I decided, no, our school years are going to be about be kind, work hard, have fun.
Yes.
That is the 3 tenets that we stand on, right? We're going to be kind to other people. We're going to look out for them. How full is my bucket is all about looking for opportunities to put drops in other people's buckets.
Yes.
And noticing when drops are coming out of our buckets and how we respond when our buckets feel empty, So just being kind and that we work hard, that we're not trying to do the bare minimum, but we always just really try and give our best. And that we have fun. I want my children to love learning. I want it to be exciting for them. Whether it's, what they're learning in the classroom or their sport they're playing or playing their instrument, I want there to be joy in that. And in our work, even in our house, when we all need to have a cleaning time, we'll just turn up the music and try and enjoy it. Like, try to have fun in your work. There's joy to be found in that. There's a good payoff. And so just not letting it all be about the drudgery.
Well, and it can get that way for sure, especially as our kids get older and things do get harder.
Yeah.
And it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
It was fun in 3rd grade. It's not fun in 9th grade.
Yeah.
Homework is tough.
Yeah.
And it's tough to go into a classroom and not know anybody. And it's tough to have a teacher that maybe expects more than you're used to.
Yeah.
And so we're setting our kids up for success when we encourage them to find joy even in that.
Yes.
That God has something good to show you even in those difficult moments.
Yeah.
Because when we send them out into the world one day, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
And just like us as moms, we have to figure out how to have fun in our everyday work, and all those mom stuff that we do that we're like, how can I find joy in this? Because when
Yes.
I am a joyful mom, my kids see that.
That's right. Yes. So, and then we have the opportunity that way, then as we have dinners together after school starts, hey, what was fun today? Did you have an opportunity to be kind to someone, or were they kind to you? And just start having those conversations so that those things are on their mind. So, anyway, I can share more about that later, about what we do for back to school. But I think it's just what you and I have talked about, of carving out, sitting down for a minute, first of all, as ourselves as moms, and thinking, and maybe with our partner, with your spouse, and thinking about, what is this year going to be about? What are we doing well that we want to keep doing? Where do we need some tweaking? As things change, what do we need to communicate out front, right? Because so often, the problems occur just as we get caught up in the fury and the whirlwind of the busyness, and then things start breaking down. If we can get out ahead of that, plan a little bit, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just plan a little bit. Have some plans and some goals and some markers in place. It can really change so much.
Well, and one of the things that I've talked about before too is don't wait. So if you're hearing this episode today and you're like, I haven't done that, it's okay. You can do it today. You can do it tomorrow. You don't have to set aside like some big fancy hoorah.
Right.
You can just, when you have a free moment, sit your family down and do this.
Yeah.
And know that it's not about the decorations and the fancy meal or everybody being in a good mood, because everybody's not always going to be in a good mood. It's just about you, just what Kate said, carving out the time to say this is important. And because it's important, I'm going to make time for it.
Yeah. In the scriptures, it says, it challenges us to make the best use of time. And that's something we want to do as moms, because there's all these opportunities we have for how we can spend our time. But we want to make the best use of it. And so we have to fight against the tyranny of the urgent, the things that are not as important, but they are barking the loudest, I think if we can sit down with our families and get a little intentional about our time, we can figure out what we want to say yes to, so that it makes our no's easier, right? We want to say yes to, maybe your family wants to say yes to having family time every Friday night. There are families who say Friday night is family night. So then you have to say no to other things.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Or we're having dinner this many nights together a week. Okay, so then we're going to say no to some other things because we are having this time together.
That's right.
So whatever is going to be important to your family, whatever you guys are going to say yes to, camp out on those to make your no's easier, so that as opportunities come up, you can immediately or quicker be able to say, yes, that falls in line with our values, or no, that's going to be a no for us because that does not line up with what we're about.
That's so good. So good. It's a good reminder for me too, because I already know it's going to be busy this fall. So what are the things that are important to our family that I can say yes to? And what are the things that maybe I might feel left out if I didn't do, but it's actually going to be more of a pull on my family?
Yeah.
And so I need to say no to those things.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, moms, we love you. We are so thankful to be back with you. We hope you have a great start back to school. If you are teaching, we are praying for you. We are cheering you
and
on.
guys.
Yes.
Which there's some guy teachers at my kids' school this year.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
Shout out.
Yeah.
We are praying for you, and I've been praying for my kids' teachers because I know that these years are hard, and I'm so thankful that you're doing all that you are to make my kids' day successful. Thank you.
And our homeschool mamas that are the teachers, we're praying for you too and cheering you on. You're doing such important work, and we love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
GatherMoms.com now has a shop, and we would love for you to go check it out and get the cutest mama swag for you and your mom friends.